So namaste and welcome everyone to our book launch party for Unleashing the Courageous Feminine, 13 Stories of Strength, Grace, and Awakening Through Adversity. We are here with Sharokin Ishtaro BetGevargiz. And, and Sharokin is one of the beautiful authors of this book, and her chapter is Rosaries of Resilience, from genocide to ritual. If we can get you to hold this book up, Sharokin, we're going to get a great photo of you holding it up. All right. Yes, you are a proud author. Yay. All right. So let me read everyone Sharokin's bio, and then we're going to hop into some beautiful questions about your chapter here. Very powerful chapter. So Sharokin is known as Ishtaro, and I'm going to say that's a beautiful name from the goddess Ishtar. She's an author, an artist, a ceremonialist, a teacher, and a shamanic practitioner whose work bridges ancient wisdom with modern healing. She's an Assyrian who was born in Iran. She draws from her heritage as a descendant of indigenous people who survived genocide. She blends resilience with sacred practices to empower transformation. Sharokin spent over a decade as a university professor, teaching design and user experience mapping, which is expertise that she now uses to guide clients through pivotal transitions and align their lives with the highest good. She's also a graduate of the Light Body School of Energy Medicine under Alberto Violdo. And there's so much more I could say about you. I also want to say that this cover design came from Sharokin. She did our final cover design, and I just love it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and the art is not from me.
It's from Amy. Yes, the art is from Amy, but you helped us fit it in because we were like, oh, it's such powerful art.
I had fun doing the title design, yeah.
How do we make that totally worthy of this beautiful art and the powerful title? Well, I want to just launch in with your mother's lineage and the Assyrian genocide that you are a descendant of, because I know that was really your motivation for becoming an author, was to tell your mother's story. So what does it mean to tell us about the Assyrian genocide and what it means for you to be a descendant of that genocide?
Well, the Assyrian genocide affected the perishing of 2/3 of our people. And it happened around where Turkey is today, the Ottoman Empire. And it was very dark times. And it's a trauma that carried through generations, and it happened systematically over and over, even to recent times, with the unfortunate situation with ISIS abducting people. And, still to this day, we hear women being taken from families in ransom. So.
And you have a very powerful family from one of your ancestors. I don't know if you'd be willing to look at the camera and tell us that story. Right now you're looking down a little bit. I'm just gonna give that tip.
Okay.
Yeah, so because your eyes are so beautiful. I remember when I read that story, I was very touched. You want to tell us about, was it your grandmother or your great-grandmother?
Yeah, it was actually, this poster is about that. It was my mother's sister, so my great aunt. Yeah, it was, they got word that the Kurdish militia was coming to ransack the village, and people had already gone to the city for protection to be um, in the churchyard, or just to hide in a bigger city. And some villages, even though they were Muslim, they also hid some people to help them because they were friends. But my great aunt had just given birth, and she wasn't able to travel. In fact, she was still hemorrhaging from the birth. So she was cold, and they went to the village where they had the crops, where they would grow the crops. There was a little house on the farm, like a farmhouse, and they were super cold, so they lit up a fire. But unfortunately, the fire gave a signal to their location, to the two Kurdish militiamen who showed up. And her husband, my great aunt, was already in the war and was not present. So she was there with her mother and her father and a newborn baby. And they asked my great grandfather to put his head on my great grandmother's knees, and they beheaded him. And she had to witness that. And then they looked at the baby, and it was a girl, so they didn't want to take the baby, but they took my great aunt because she was very beautiful. And she kept saying, "Don't take my daughter because she's no use to you. She just gave birth. Give her back. She's a mother." And they took her anyway. So she followed her daughter on the horseback with the blood dripping on the snow because it was a moonlit night. And then the daughter, she was like, let me be, mom, go take care of the baby. Go take care of the baby. So, let go of me. Just go save the baby. And so she went, and I don't know how she managed to deal with her husband and this baby. And I mean, it must have been debilitating, traumatizing beyond belief, and uh, numbing, and just, yeah, I can't even imagine.
Such a powerful story.
And this story has been told to me so many times, and I always blocked it
Well,
in
yeah,
my
I can see
childhood.
why.
And then it wasn't until I was in college doing my master's in fine arts in my 30s, early 30s, that I asked my mom one more time to tell the story. And it was, really hard even then to hear it again and to rewrite it and to make the poster, which turned out to be like one of the hardest ones for me to design. And it actually, I don't know if you can see, it's,
Sharokin, I'm going to pause you.
yeah.
You're doing so beautifully in telling us this story, and I know it's the first time you've published this. I just have to receive the impact of your story. I can't go on to the next thing, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way. I want to honor your family, and I'm sure all of our listeners who are live and anybody who watches this recording is going to want a moment to breathe with the incredible trauma, the incredible violence of that story. And the fact that you are alive to tell the story is huge. And I just want to honor you. So
Thank
let's
you.
breathe into this. And sadly, this is what happens in war. This is what happens in genocide. Women are abducted. Women are raped. Men are beheaded. I mean, what you're saying is to be beheaded on her wife's lap. This was, I'm going to give great grandfather. I mean, it's just such a story, Sharokin. And I just have to, just a minute, I have to catch up with, my energy body has to catch up with that story. Can you give me a sec here? I'm feeling tears. I'm feeling tears come, and I'm going to guess that it wasn't safe in the middle of this genocide. And that's just one story, right? In a war, in a genocide, there's many stories like this. And what I'm hearing is that you heard that as a child, and then when you were older, you asked your mother to tell it to you again, and you put it in this book.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing us this incredibly vivid, horrific picture of war and genocide. And your family survived. Your mother survived. She would have been a sister of this woman who lost her husband.
A niece, yeah.
A niece. Okay, thank you. And you write about resilience. And one of the things, so your family was Christian, correct? In the middle of a Muslim country, Muslim part of the world, our of course, diversity of religions in every part of the world. And your chapter is titled Rosaries of Resilience. Your family has shown so much resilience. How was the rosaries part of that? And roses, you also talk about that.
Yeah. The rosaries are a ritual. It's a practice, daily practice that you see Catholic women praying. And they offer a bridge between the worlds, between broken parts of the world and our hearts. And they're a way of praying to Mother Mary. And we know from ancient times, people have been, men and women, offering the great goddess roses and praying and celebrating her. And the inherited body and the trauma lives in the body as a vibration. And it has a tightening, like we all felt each other get tightened just now. And a sacred repetition like beads in a prayer, they help us be present in our body as they go through our fingers, as we grab them, and they help soften that grip of trauma. And for me, crafting these rosaries and learning how to make them became a ritual of remembering. So each bead is like a heartbeat of my lineage. And it allows me to feel connected also to my mother's unwavering faith, Christian faith, Catholic faith. And so in this way, the ancient feminine power is a kind of a devotional from ancient times, from the great mother, the great goddess, to the divine feminine now, and Mother Mary all along. And it was even seen in the church as something that was not accepted.
The rosaries were not, saying the rosaries to Mary was not accepted in the church? I did not know this.
There was a history of them not being accepted until recent
Really?
times. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
There's
Now,
a book called The Way of the Rose. You can read about that. Yeah.
now these beads were woven or rolled from rose petals, is that right?
We're starting to do them that way because my mom said that that's what they did. And so I'm wearing a pair that I tried to do that in, but then I put other
You
beads in it.
show us. Can you hold it up really
Yeah.
close?
It's I don't know how well
Those are roses, rose petals?
Yeah, I'll put them with dough. You can also cook them. There's all sorts of recipes online for cooking them in like a cast iron pot and for a few days and they become sticky. I haven't tried that method, but my mom remembers people doing that, so I should try that.
I had no idea. Well, I'm wondering if you would be willing to say a prayer, maybe from the rosary or whatever's part of your tradition, your mother's tradition, since that's part of the resilience of your
Yeah,
family,
I can
for
say the
all
Mother
the
Mary.
women here or for your family's lineage.
Yeah, I can say the Mother Mary prayer.
Beautiful.
Shlomalach ya Maryam, mli tevat shapakat, vruchtelat unted kisach isha, mat Maryam yimmet Allah, sali min gibet dian bnei nasha, min adi al danet, Abad Abadim Amin.
Wow. What
I forgot
language,
if I said the part Bruchtelot und Kisach. I think I said that. Yeah.
what language is that, Sharokin?
Assyrian or Aramaic or Syriac or
Are you saying that
Neo-Aramaic.
Assyrian and Aramaic are very close?
So Assyrian is from the family of Aramaic, and in like University of Chicago, Assyriologists call it Neo-Aramaic.
Wow, and that was the language that Jesus supposedly spoke, correct?
Yeah, or Syriac. They also call it Syriac.
Wow, it sounded almost reminded me of Hebrew.
Yeah, it is. Alabit, Yamal Dalet, the alphabet is the same. Yeah, it's from the same family.
The alphabet is the same as Hebrew. Well, thank you for giving us that. Oh, that beautiful chant. How precious.
I
Um,
sang it. Usually you say it, but I'm
oh,
not a
really?
good
It
singer,
sounded like
but
it was meant to be sung.
yeah. My sister does a really good version of it.
Well, what do you want to tell us about ritual or resilience, given all that you and your family have been through and learned? What,
I guess what I want to say is the value, the importance, uh, the moment now is that this chapter was like opening a door that had been waiting to be opened for generations and acknowledged. And so it allowed me to trace these silent threads of a shame or not speaking from my great grandmother to my mother and through me. And so this resilience, their resilience lives in the stories that they were unspoken or they didn't know how to tell. And with me being able to write them, it gave these unspoken truths a kind of a sacred place to be embedded or placed or planted. So it helps me, you know, connect this inherited fear with the strength, if you see what I mean.
yeah,
Um, and so bringing ritual in this allows for collective healing, individually remembering, taking things from the Catholic Church, bringing in rituals that are pan-global, shamanic, or what I feel called with the voices of Inanna or Ishtar, or even when I joined your call for this potential book, I felt like I heard the voice of Enheduanna.
oh, really?
And she said, Rush, Uktu, awaken and write. So,
Wow. She told you awaken and write.
yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that. Everybody, I've put into the chat Sharokin's email. So it's sharokinb@gmail.com for a complimentary consultation. Tell us, what kind of a complimentary consultation do you offer, Sharokin?
Yeah, I ask a few questions ahead of time, and it's free. Shed your fear and free your wings. That's what I call it.
Shed
And
your fear and I love it.
yeah, and so I look at the answers you gave, and we evaluate how you can reconnect because to remember. And I think that's what ritual does. It helps our broken souls realign and um, reconnect with who we really are. So it's like this medicine that we can use on a daily basis to heal.
Beautiful, 100%. I also, let's see, I also put in your website, it's up here, www.whirlingshaman.com, or on Instagram at whirling_Sharokin. Somebody's
Whirling shaman.
Okay, Whirling Shaman. Somebody's saying, please send me a copy of the book. So Pat, it's on Amazon. Let me go get the link on Amazon. If anybody has it, I think I have it here, composed. Let me get the link. You can purchase it now, and we would be so honored if you would leave a review. Pat, here you go, Pat. I think you meant this one. If you mean another one, let me know. That's Unleashing the Courageous Feminine. I will say for anybody who's wanting to become an author, I'm going to give you my resources. We have the Flow Formula, which is my free breakthrough gift to breakthrough to flow in your writing. Sacred Author Incubator is what these women have all been in, to write and publish one chapter. And then the Soulful Book Journey is to write your whole book. Sharokin, thank you so much for bringing
Thank you. Thank you.
your
Thank
story,
you,
your
everyone
vulnerability.
who's here and for witnessing this.
Thank you for being our witnesses as Sharokin tells the story of the Assyrian people, and as we hold space for anybody who has been traumatized, which is most of us these days, and heal. And thank you for also for your Mother Mary prayer. We'll be back at the top of the hour, everybody, and let's see who's our next speaker. Sandy, this will be our final interview for the day. I will see you all back here at the top of the hour. Namaste. Have a good bio break, everybody.